Welcome everyone. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. What is Drakenmemoria, you may ask? Because for some reason you got roped into finding your way here and you have no idea what this is. Well, this is people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So if you don't like Dungeons and Dragons, well, too late. We've already started. And it's going to be the same thing next week, and the week after that, and the week after that. So either you grow to like Dungeons and Dragons, or go watch something else, because that's what we want to do. For everyone else who actually knows why they're here, and they're here because they actually like what they see, at least most of it, welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Yeah. Not much more to say because, it's still just a very small channel. No one has asked us to make a lot of publicity about them. We don't have any sponsors except ourselves. So, not a lot to say, except, as always, a little thank you for Chaotic Calling, who's probably going to be joining us usually in the next half hour, 3/4 of an hour. And Kearney City Guild, who is letting us post on their page that we are actually playing and live. So, thank you very much. For those of you who might be wondering what those are, well, Kearney City Guild is a Discord channel where you can find groups or post there so a group can find you. And Chaotic Calling is another D&D channel. They have quite a few more campaigns than us, so you can easily get something to watch for a few more days than with us. But who knows? Eventually, we might actually get more campaigns or more content. Let's hope so. But seeing as how difficult it is getting all of these players together, and hopefully now they're gonna stay there, probably not a new campaign very soon. So, probably think of something else. And I see we already have people in the chat, so hey! Oh! I believe it's one of our past players who is in the chat right now. Cool. Alright, so this is it. This is everything we have to talk about, say thank you, make fun of. Well, maybe one day. But for now, it's mostly them making fun of us. So, welcome, take a seat, and let's get ready to start this. So, last episode. Well, mostly last episode, the party got to know a little bit more about this new adventurer sharing this quest with them. And they tried to figure out this forest maze, who really isn't cooperating and throwing them whichever way it wants, or seemingly wants. But they did get to find clues about what had happened here. They found the ghost of a little girl crying in the middle of a flower field. They got a little bit more information about how this place might have come into existence because of a little girl trying to get flowers for her mom, and then finding mushrooms and following them all the way into this little place where there was a fairy ring. And at the center of it, there was a shiny object, which she took. But immediately after, a darkness emerged and started to chase her. She ran away, but unfortunately the darkness caught up to her, and that's all she remembers clearly. She remembers the world becoming cold, and then finding herself in the middle of a flower field. So the party did their best to try and console her, get her to follow them, but unfortunately the ghost was restrained to the flower field, so they could not bring her on the road. They managed to find their way to the ferry ring, where they got a little bit of rest. They let Ornak also rest a little bit, but when morning came, they forgot to resummon him, and they just went on their way. So now they are still exploring this forest maze, trying to figure out how to get home, how to find a way to open the door, and they decided to follow a clue that they found, which was dark bark on some of the trees, which they believe is a clue to navigate this maze. They found dark bark, toadstools, stones with glowing moss, and little red flowers. By following the red flowers, they found themselves in the flower field, the toadstool, and the fairy ring. They don't know where the stone with the glowing moss goes, but they are intent on following the dark bark. Unfortunately, as they were following this clue, they find themselves in an intersection where the road doesn't seem to be leading to the dark bark anymore. And so this is where we left off, having to figure out where to go next, how to get back to this point where they can follow the dark bark. And so this is where we are. Audience, Jorg, Fisher, Remy, what are you all doing?
So what's the current intersection look like again?
The current intersection, as almost every single time, is a Y intersection. The two branches of the Y are one that is the one that you're coming from is the right branch, and this one has toadstool growing at the foot of it. The branch on the left has stone with glowing moss, and the branch, the stem of the Y, has red flowers growing on it. You were following the dark bark, and so far every time you took the direction, it led to another intersection with dark bark on it, but this one doesn't.
And is so we came from the right branch.
Exactly.
Is it so is the Y, like, are the separate branches like the same, or is it like a lowercase y, or I guess, yeah, like where the stem is connected to one of, like, in line with one of the branches, and the other branch goes off at an angle? Or do both branches go off from the main stem?
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Okay, that's an interesting question. It feels like it's a bit of a minor case why, but mirrored, meaning that the it does look like someone just wrote down one branch and then with a single stroke the two branches, but it's the branch on the left that seems to have been drawn with the same stroke as the stem, and the right one seems to connect with it.
Okay, and we came from the right one.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we should take the stem. You said that one had flowers on it?
Yeah.
Hey Sam, I accidentally muted you. There was a ringing sound, and I think you have to unmute yourself. Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay.
So, what were you saying?
I said, remember the hint he gave us, the path of least resistance.
Exactly.
So you think the flowers is the path of least resistance?
I think the stem is the path of least resistance.
Oh, because to go
Because it doesn't
into one of the
curve off
paths.
of anything. It's
Yeah.
a straight line. It doesn't need to turn.
Okay. I mean, I'm down.
That makes sense.
Is there any size difference between any of the paths?
Not in the width. The length, however, you remember that this is very hard to discern because there seemed to be some sort of illusion preventing you from being able to accurately discern if it's actually turning in the direction that you're seeing at, or even as long as you think it is. There have been a few intersections where you thought it was really long, but after only a minute of travel, you found yourself in another intersection, while sometimes felt like you could just see the end of this road in the next intersection, but you kept walking and walking and walking and walking, and it took a lot of time to get there. So either the terrain is shifting, or there is a very powerful illusion preventing you from being able to truly discern where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The stem is flowers, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, we know if we take just flowers, we should get back to the glade. But
Uh-huh. Or we did last time and it worked.
mhm.
Hopefully it will still work.
Well, but we don't want to go back to the glade.
Yeah. But... Or at least
Not yet.
not
We
yet.
do want to
Not yet.
deliver her little basket, but
Mhm. Did we actually pick that up, or did we leave
I think
it?
we did. I think we did.
I'm
Yeah.
sure Jorg picked up the basket.
Okay. Then, yeah, I guess we will take the stem.
all right.
Remy felt like you were about to say something. We saw Remy's beak open and then shut again.
I'll see where this goes.
Okay. So, you take on this path, and from your point of view, as soon as you enter it, it looks like it's gonna start curving after a few minutes to your right. But for Jorg and Remy, the feeling is that it's a very gentle curve to the left. Sorry, both are curved to the left. I mean, one seems to be very steep in appearance, but what you feel is that it's a very gentle curve to the left. Sorry. So you keep on moving, maybe for about 2 or 3 minutes. And as always, the feeling of oppression grows. The beast is on the move, and it is able to see where it is going, unlike you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so you walk for a little while, 2 or 3 minutes, and you find yourself again at a Y intersection. Right in front of you are, well, actually on this one, oh, this one is interesting. On this one, right in front of you, It is the stem of the Y. There are little red flowers. From the path you just came from, you see stone with glowing moss. And on the path to your right, you see dark bark.
What was the one behind us, you said?
The one that you just came from now shows stone with glowing moss. The one on your right shows dark bark, and the one right in front of you shows little red flowers.
So which one's the stem? The glowing moss?
No, it is the little flowers. But you did manage to find yourself again with one that has dark bark on it.
Mm-hmm. Do we take this dark bark branch and then try and follow that as straight as it goes?
I mean, we could get back on dark bark, but it might just lead us back to the same intersection we were at. Like, we ran out of dark. I don't know. I really don't know.
Also,
Can either
One
of you
thing-
see?
that's unrelated or somewhat unrelated is that moss always grows on the sunny side of objects. And if this moss is maybe influenced by some magic in the grove, maybe it's growing on the side that has more concentrated magic.
Is the moss particularly one-sided on the rocks?
No, it seems to be growing directly on the stone. But...
It appears we have to go up.
yeah, straight up. That's...
Obviously. Why didn't we think about
But
this?
that's what I've been saying. We need to climb a tree.
Remy, you're the one who has the highest passive investigation of the group, I think. I've been looking at what is passive investigation.
It's when you're allowed to give your players answers to things.
Well,
So we don't spend the rest of this campaign on a one-shot.
well,
I was going to ask,
actually, Fisher and Remy both have equally high passive investigation. Because of that, there is a moment when Jorg is talking that, moss grows on the sunny side of bark, of trees, and then there's dark bark on trees, and then the word just seems to be rolling around in your heads, going dark bark, glowing moss, black bark, shining moss, light and darkness. That's as far as I'm gonna go with your both 15s.
mm-hmm. Does the forest look particularly more like darker, like the forest itself, down the path where the bark is,
Make a perception roll.
opposed to the glowing rocks?
I know you loved your perception roll. Make a perception roll.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna do this on D&D Beyond. That is a 12 or a 14.
It's really hard to tell. You can't escape the fact that you feel like there's a darkness growing, and maybe that's an influence from that with your feeling. It's hard to tell. Even Terranad, using your perspectives, it tells you that it's hard to tell if it's visual or just feeling. But there's definitely darkness growing from there.
What does can we see the sky if we look up, or is it do the trees fully cover?
It's a bit weird. The trees do cover almost everything, but even when a forest is very deep, it usually means that the forest is very old if no light can come through. But when you're looking at the trees, it doesn't look like it is a particularly old forest. The trees aren't that thick. There should be light coming from that, but even residual light, there isn't any coming from straight above you. When you think about it, it's a bit weird. If there's no light coming from above, how can you see the path?
I was just going to ask that. Where is the light coming from? Or is you can't find a source?
You can't find the source.
Sam, I think you've added a laugh track to our D&D game.
I told you, people listening to us are laughing at us.
There may be 6 or 7 girls outside of my room right now, like that are slightly, intoxicated. So there may be some laughter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So basically what we were having is what is happening in the audience's head. He's always hearing girls laugh.
The little girl said the thing she found was a shiny rock, right?
Shiny object.
Shiny object.
Slowly, minute by minute, you feel the darkness growing. The beast has moved again.
Maybe we should just follow
I think we should.
what were you going to say?
I think we should keep following the bark for now.
Okay.
Okay.
And possibly either if it leads us to, if we get lost again, or if we get rid of, if we have to fight this thing again and we kill it, then I think we should switch to the moss, the glowing mossy rocks.
Okay.
Okay. Jorg, Remy, no problem with that? You're just following along?
Yeah. I was gonna say we should follow the moss, but I'm cool following the bark first.
Okay. Remy?
I'm just going along for the time being.
Okay, you're gathering information. All right, you start going on the path that the dark bark is growing on. And you start walking on that path, and it looked pretty straight, but Jorg and Remy, you are feeling that it is slightly curving to the left. And although you can always, it feels like you're always looking in front and you can see an intersection, you just can't get to it. You walk, and 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. At the 5th minute, now there's something that you haven't seen. There seems to be a breach in the path. Not an intersection, really just a breach going right to your left. It just opens up into something, and simultaneously, as you see this, you see the darkness right in front of you, maybe 60 feet away, just gaining, engulfing part of the forest as it moved towards you. You are again staring right down the beast as it is walking toward you.
When you say like a breach, it's not like a path. It's just like the path opens up on something.
Yeah.
On like the side.
Yeah. To the left. As if something had been able to push through.
Oh, it looks good to me. What about you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
We see something new, we go for it, I say.
Yeah, I run for it.
All right.
Try and get there before the darkness does.
I will also ready an attack action.
All right. You start running. You all follow. Jorg and Remy also. You follow running or just walking cautiously?
I fall running
Okay.
toward, because it's not in the breach, it's on the other side of the breach, or like
The beast is on the
Down
other
the-
side of the breach, making its way toward you.
oh,
You're basically each of you are on opposite side of this breach.
yeah. I say try to get to the breach, but also we're about to fight, so I'll stay a little bit behind Fisher.
Okay. So it's Fisher, Jorg, audience, Remy.
Ramy is going to be like he will be moving forward, but he is readying a dodge action because he's not sure about something.
Okay. So you're going in last, or
I would technically be going last if everybody else is running.
okay. So first one to enter is Fisher because he started running first, followed by Jorg, audience, and then Remy. So Fisher, as you enter, you're the first one who gets hit by this. You enter this place, and it is not too large, but still fairly large enclosure. However, unlike the flower field and unlike the fairy ring, you can't see the sky from this one. You just enter into this place, and immediately it feels like you just entered the cocoon of a spider. It is thick, oppressive, very dark. All of the branches inside of there look like good lord, looks like they are dead, and there's this hanging darkness and hanging feeling of stillness inside of this place.
Does boss fight music start playing? Will we get there?
Do I have time to cast light?
Well, if you want a music, it would probably be the music that starts just before you're sure something's gonna happen. You know, just hanging moment of, oh shit,
Okay.
Do
So
I
I
have
still
time
have
to
my
cast
attack
light?
ready. So.
So yeah, you enter, and Jorg, followed by audience, and then Remy coming in a bit reluctantly at the last. But as you all enter, you all feel that oppressing presence as if you just entered the lair of a spider. Fisher, you try and cast light. You certainly can try. You go through the motion, you say the words, and then light just flickers, and then it looks like something just crushes it. It just...
Oh, that's not good.
I'm gonna cast
is
a
it?
divine sense, by the way.
Okay.
Can I see it all in there,
You can.
or is it lighter than like the actual darkness?
You can see in there. It feels like maybe a starlit night for level of light. It's maybe just a last hint of moon. So it's fairly dark, but not enough that you can't see everything around you. So you'd probably be in dim light throughout this bubble. Audience, you cast Divine Sense. It hits you like a ton of brick. There is an evil presence in here. Right above your head.
Right above my head. Okay. I will do the thing in the horror film where you slowly look up. just like to the guys. I think it's above us. Just slowly look up.
So as audience slowly looks up, you see this tangled mass of darkness that just seems to be pulsing and moving about right above you. It looks like a more dense, more menacing, and more oppressing version of what's been hunting you inside of this place.
Do I get any definition of what it is? Do I get an undead, fiend, anything like that? Vibe from it?
No undead, no fiend, but you do feel evil. Raw
Yeah.
evil.
Okay. I will point above us and be like, I think that's what's causing the problem. And then I'm going to try and lightning breath it.
Okay. As you say this, you gather your lightning breath. Remy, you have such a high passive perception that there's one more detail that you glimpse from the surrounding. The breach from which you just came has nothing around the entrance. Your perception catches two other entrances to this place. In front of each entrance, you see two creatures who seems to be frozen. So in total, 4 creatures, 2 beside each entrance. There is some similarity with Ornak in the shape of their head, a triangular head, and a bit of a dome shape. However, they have 3 eyes, almond shape, black, all aiming toward the center of the lower part of the pyramid of the triangle. So it's the head would be like this, and the eyes would be like this. Their body seems to be made out of bark. However, their face looks like new wood when you just peeled off the bark. This is the kind of color that there is on the face. The arms looks fairly humanoid. However, the hands, you do notice that they are longer. The fingers are longer than those of humans, and they don't seem to have joints. They just seem to wrap around what looks like staffs. They are wearing dark brown robes. However, the robes doesn't extend much lower than their waist, and this is the part that feels the most alien when you look at them. Because Oronak has legs and feet, or as close as Bark can get to that. Their lower part of their body looks like the bottom part of octopus. It's just a mass of roots acting as feet. So they are, one of them seems to have 5, another one seems to have 7, another one seems to have 6, and this is what makes their legs and feet. They're
So like if you just like pulled a tree out of the ground and then just stood it on its roots.
Yeah. Basically something very similar to that. They're all pointing with their staff toward the 2 other entrances to this place. As if they were bracing for something, or maybe casting something. But they're completely immobile. Feels like they're stuck in this shape. As if life had been drained from them, or under a very powerful paralysis spell. But of the breach from which you came from, there are none of those.
How big is the room?
It's roughly maybe 300 feet wide. The shape is round-ish. It's not a perfect round circle. There are a bit of wavy forms around it, but it's around 300 feet. So Remy, this is what your perception catches. Those 4 creatures at those 2 entrances. Audience, as you look up and you gather your breath,
Yep.
you unleash it, and I believe it's
DC 12 dex. If it.
okay. You unleash it, you see this powerful explosion of light coming from your mouth. Remy, this feels a bit epic just to watch at this. He just opens his mouth and the light comes pouring out, and lightning. It feels like what you can see sometime in paintings where something epic happens. Audience, you're sure this hits because it hits right square in the center of it, where you feel the greatest mass of evil. But then you're also very used to seeing things react to your lightning when it is hit. That thing didn't react at all.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not that surprised. I rolled only 2 on damage. So. maybe I'm not as surprised as you think. It did feel like my strongest blast as I rolled the lowest possible damage.
But it failed its saving throw.
Well, it takes 2 instead of 1 then. So
Yeah. However, like I said, it feels like you hit nothing.
Does the lightning go through it? Like all the way through? Or does it just like
absorb
hit it
it.
and get absorbed?
Feels like it went right through.
I will tell them, my lightning seemed to have no effect on it.
Is it in the middle of the area we're in?
As middle as a thing that shape can have. Like I said, it's round-ish, but there's a lot of wave to the. It's not an even circle. It's.
I look back at the entrance of the breach. Is the darkness there?
Make a dexterity roll for me, please.
Dex.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you haven't done a lot of those.
Ew. 17.
Wow! Hey,
And we found Fisher's strength.
the only
Yeah,
party
I just can't roll real dice.
the only party member who doesn't have a plus on its dexterity rolls the best dexterity roll of the night, and almost of the last month. As soon as you all see this, you instinctively look toward the entrance, and you see the beast that's been following you coming right in front of the entrance. And as everyone is looking up a bit surprised, you see it just make one step inside of this place, poof out, become very large, and seemingly get absorbed by the darkness right over you all. Feels like something that has been reabsorbed.
Yeah, well, that's definitely where the darkness has been coming from.
And
Yeah.
I'd have you all make a initiative roll. Because
All
the,
right.
Is that 17?
no, it was to see when you looked down. Because if you had rolled poorly, you would have been looking away when this would have happened.
14 for me.
Okay.
13.
Wow, that's a lot better than the last session initiative.
I got an 18, and I rolled with D&D Beyond.
Don't worry,
Is the secret just to roll with D&D Beyond?
I think so.
I don't know what you're talking about. I used a real dice and I got a 22.
good.
Ooh,
Lord.
You're a rogue.
I got a nat 20 when I rolled with a real die, so I guess I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's Remy. Everything it involves dexterity. It's always good.
I don't know, I've had a few bad initiatives a couple times.
Yeah. Fortunately for you, it was always when it wasn't a problem to have a low initiative. Oh, that's actually good this time. For strategy reason. All right. Okay. So, well, unsurprisingly, Remy, you're the first one to react. As in this moment, you realize that by seeing those few strands of black energy, the energy in front of you just starts to be pulsing slightly stronger, and you can feel all the way through your soul this. You know it's gonna attack. But you have better initiative, so you get to prepare yourself for what's coming.
Alright. How far off are the like from where we're standing and those other two entrances you mentioned? How far off are they from me?
The entrance?
Yeah, because you said that there were, apart from the breach that we came in through, there were two other entrances.
Well, from where you are, roughly 250 feet. You didn't get very far inside of this roughly circular shape, but because it is roughly circular, it is somewhere between 250 and 300 feet to each of those exits.
Okay.
And those creatures are about, well, they're about your size, about 5 feet tall.
Mm-hmm. Raimi is going to bonus action dash to. I don't know exactly where these entrances are, but I'm going to say
from where you
the
are?
right entrance.
From where you are, there is one entrance that looks straight up and one to your left.
Okay. In which case, Raimi will use a bonus action to dash to the the left one,
Okay.
and he will use the dodge action and end his turn.
Okay. So this means you went 60 feet
feet.
in total, and all right. Oh goodness, where did that come from? Sorry. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's action, bonus action, so that's all I can do.
Okay. The next one on the list, well, unsurprisingly, is the beast. So, from its very advantageous point of view, it looks at all of you, and you do feel like it is looking at you. Angrily, oppressingly. And suddenly the darkness just spreads from where it is and engulfs all of you. You're not sure if it's the entire region, but you all find yourself completely immersed in darkness, unable to see anything that is happening. However, from the way that it is acting, you get the feeling that it remembers stuff. From the darkness, audience, something strikes at you with a 20.
That will hit.
However, you are able to just in time dodge for to avoid most of the damage, but you do get slashed for 4 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
Fisher, you are attacked with a 27 to hit.
27.
Yeah.
That'll.
I will use Sentinel though.
What are you planning on using?
I mean, I'm just Sentinel, which means it's just if one of my friends is attacked within 5 feet of me, I can hit.
I know, but it is 10 feet away.
Oh.
It has reach.
I don't know. I don't know. Sentinel just says if it hits, so I guess I can't use.
Well, you
have
the reflex. You feel like something is slashing from you. You see this odd shape going toward Fisher, and you turn around, you try and strike it, but you realize that you're only striking at the tip of whatever it's using to attack.
Okay.
It is well, actually, it does give you information. You know that it can strike at you from a distance.
Did I see a way up to it? Do I remember?
When you
I saw a way up to it before the darkness hit.
Yeah, roughly, you'd say that it was hanging maybe in the area of 20 feet off of the ground. But
was there a way to hit it? Was there a way to get up 20 feet?
Actually, I think it's 15 feet. I think your breath weapon is 15 feet long. Is that it?
My breath weapon can I think up to 30 feet actually.
30 feet? Okay.
Yeah,
He has the line breath, so the line breath can go up to 30.
All right. So that was quite enough. So what was your question?
Do I remember when I looked up and saw it? Was there a way for like someone like me, like a melee fighter, to get up to it and hit it?
Not an obvious one. You're just looking around, and it felt like looking at, I don't know, coconut hanging from a tree. There it is.
Well, that'll be a problem for me though, because I really have no way to get up places.
And from your sentinel feet, you gather that it has reach, so it can strike while not being in your range.
Well, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get it to come down.
So, Fisher, you get struck with 8 points of necrotic damage. But I believe, fortunately for Jorg, you hear audience react from a strike, you hear Fisher react from a strike, and you hear, oh yeah, I'm the only other one who's used Radiant, and you duck just as something slashes right above your head, because I am pretty sure your AC is too high to be hit by a 9.
Yeah. That's good. Well, it is my turn, right?
I think I got a 14. Oh wait, what did you get?
Jorg got
I
an
got
18. So yeah, it is your turn now.
It's your turn.
So you got
All
attacked
right.
3 times by this creature who you also think you saw audience try to strike at it, but didn't hit. So either it's very hard to hit, or it is quite literally out of reach. From your point of view, you're not sure which one it is.
Yeah. I guess what I'm gonna try is putting down a moonbeam and hoping I don't hit someone.
The audience is cheering for the moonbeam.
I'm gonna put down a moonbeam. Yay!
It's 40 feet high, so I hope that's high enough of a cylinder. I'm
Yeah.
gonna throw out moonbeam. I don't think I have to roll.
It's a saving throw, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, and then I roll damage.
They'll make the saving throw on their turn.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
one of the things that I meant to say. I'm sorry, last session, every time that I use Moonbeam, I should have waited until the beginning of the next turn. Because each and every time, Orunak was the last one to do something in turn. So, actually, it doesn't change that people got hit. It just changed when they got hit. So,
All right. I guess we'll see.
and
then also,
you focus on the creature, and you do your best to aim at where you think it is. For a moment, you see this large beam of light coming from the skies, but you also see it having trouble maintaining its brilliance. For a moment, it just... It's having a lot of trouble piercing to this darkness. But it is there. It's going to have an effect. Or at least you hope so. When the beast
All right.
reacts. Anything else?
all right. Shillelagh, and then I will end my turn.
Okay.
So my staff is ready, or my club.
So, Moonbeam. Is Moonbeam a bonus action?
Shillelagh is a
Moonbeam
bonus
is an
action.
action. Shillelagh is a bonus action.
Yeah, but usually
And a
you
cantrip.
you can do a bonus action spell followed by a cantrip,
Oh.
not a
Shillelagh
spell.
is a cantrip.
Yeah, but it's Shillelagh that's the bonus action. Moonbeam is an action, a normal action.
Well, yeah, I believe the idea is that you just simply
Oh.
can't cast 2 leveled spells in the same turn.
Yeah.
And I'm not attacking with Shillelagh. I'm just imbuing my club with it.
Yeah. The only
It's the
ruling is
only
that if
cantrip
you
in the
use
game
your
that would
bonus
be-
action to cast
Okay.
a leveled spell, you can't use your action to cast anything other than a cantrip.
Okay. I'll check it out later, but sure, no problem. Because anyway, one way or another, it's on your next turn. If you would cast it on your next turn, as you are attacking, it would still make the same. So
Yeah.
it's after
Just do that.
after checking this, it might change when this thing happens, but it's not gonna change the result. So I'm not gonna make everyone white while I read rules. So, all right. So we go down to audience with a 14.
Okay. Well, audience is going to use his talk to be like, the creature is out of reach but seems to still be able to strike us. Just to let everyone else know that. And then, what am I gonna do? My strategy of just hit stuff isn't gonna work. I guess I will move 30 feet in the direction I think one of the entrances is in, because I want to see how far this darkness goes.
Okay. Roll a d6 for me.
D6. 6.
Okay. You are moving in a direction that you believe there is an exit from. So you move your entire 60 feet, is that it?
I mean, I'll move the 30 feet first, and if I don't hit anything, I guess I'll move another 30 feet. Because I can't actually hit anything.
So you would be able to move your 60 feet. One thing that your feet are noticing as you're walking, there's a lot of dead branches on the ground. Dead root, dead branches.
Build a ladder.
Yeah, just like Lego movies.
Oh, yeah. Real quick.
It's just a bonus action, you know. You just look at them. It's a ladder. So there's a lot of dead stuff on the ground. The ground itself feels like dirt, and you do hear several branches cracking under your feet. Something. It's not new. The ground itself is dead for probably at least a few inches.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that you pick up as you're walking, because you're walking 60 feet and you are probably very careful about where you step because you do not want to end prone on the ground. So this is something that you catch while you are moving.
Okay, but I don't get out of the darkness within 60
Nope.
feet.
Anything else?
I mean, I would only have a bonus, so I mean, I guess no.
Okay.
Well, you know what I'll do?
Yep.
Screw it. As my bonus action, I'll plant Algonac for another 10 rounds of combat.
Can I say above table, please don't?
No, it's happening. I'm building corrupted Algonac.
There's no G in his name.
Wardak. Sorry, I don't know what. Listen,
DM, I would like to argue that planting is an action.
Pretty sure it is an action. It would say on the thing, though.
Well, you do get on your knees and try to push away dirt and then push it in. One could argue that it is an action, or at least a bonus action.
I mean, I have a bonus action, so I could. I think we've been treated as a bonus action for the other part of the campaign.
Have you ever planted it in combat?
Yes, yes, I have.
That's why that's why it appeared right as the combat ended, because the combat lasted 9 turns. So, unfortunately, Remy, you cannot see audience doing this because everything is dark. So, audience pushes the seedling inside the ground and just covers it with dirt.
Way to go.
I'm so sorry, Remy. But with your passive perception, it does feel like someone's digging.
Don't know why, but it feels like someone just made a mistake.
Are
Listen,
they?
audience staff is depth here, okay?
Are
He
they-
can't hit something and divide smite it. He doesn't know what to do.
Are they digging, or are they digging their own grave? Fisher, it is your turn.
That didn't do anything.
You're the only one who actually saw the beast from outside pulling itself apart and reassembling itself with what is up there. And so you're the only one who has a clue that there's something connecting both of those things.
Uh-huh. Shit.
Come on, take your diamond out. Try it.
Shut up. That wasn't what I was thinking about doing.
You know you want to.
Fuck it. It's too far away. I will not take out my diamond. I will take out some shard dust instead
Okay.
as I attempt to cast chromatic orb at it.
Okay. So I guess you're using fire orb.
Yes.
All right.
So that gives me advantage on the
Advantage on your
attack
roll.
and advantage on the damage roll if I hit.
Exactly. Go ahead.
So is it just a flat roll because I can't see anything?
Oh, actually, yes.
Okay. And that. Ha! It's on D&D's on.
Keeping with tradition.
Ta-da! I did it, guys.
Did you roll that one?
I rolled a 1. Yep.
No. This grammatical. To go backwards again.
You're welcome.
Can you roll a d10 for me, please?
Oh, let's go. You know what? I'm gonna roll an actual die. 5.
5. Okay. Okay. What's the range on chromatic orb again?
90 feet.
90 feet. All right. So you're there and you're trying to figure out where it's gonna be. You feel something moving right beside you. You turn, you fire. Remy, you see this ball of fire just go. That was Fisher. You're sure of it.
He hasn't seen that cat breathe fire, so
He has, however, seen random
missed something
fireballs
horribly.
go flying in unfortunate directions when Fisher tries to shoot things.
Oh. So, well, at least you know that Fisher is improving. He almost hit
Alive.
you.
okay, I guess that's another positive, maybe.
And the flame felt quite intense when it passed right by your head. So,
Very powerful.
Fisher, you don't hear the creature react, but you probably hear a "Ah!"
It's a loud squawk.
It's not me, it's Taranad.
Yeah. I am going to Did I see which way Raimi took off?
Roughly in the same direction as you just fired.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to assume the monster wasn't in that direction and run that way. 30 feet.
Okay. So, there, and there, and there. All right. So, yeah, okay. Then we go back to the top of the initiative with Remy. It is your turn.
Okay. So me, the player, is going to be try his best to not think too hard about what happened that last round, and Raimi is, I guess, in a way, like as a means to try to assist others in finding him. He is going to open his mouth, and for the entire 6 seconds, he is going to be letting out a very loud trumpeting sound. And he's going to be doing that the whole time as he takes action and bonus action to continue dashing in the direction that he was going before.
Okay. Okay. So that's
a total of 90 feet.
90 feet. All right. And with your passive. Okay, that's good. I was gonna say roll perception, but your passive perception is high enough to compensate for the fact that you aren't seeing anything. You just realized that I was about to place the DC at 15, and your passive perception is higher than that. So. All right, so you are running in the direction you are fairly confident it is the right one, and all the while screaming like a trumpet.
Like, you could probably guess why he heard this particular sound as he ends his turn.
So, audience, Jorg, and Fisher, you hear in the distance the cavalry moving away. So, okay, the next one to act is the beast again. Oh yeah, he's gonna like that. Oh, that's interesting.
Moonbeam.
Yeah. Okay. I believe it's what?
It's a Constitution save.
Constitution save. Damn.
It hit.
Fortunately, I was drinking water, but I just spilled some water on myself. I just don't want to put water all over my sheets. All right. Okay. Jorg, you see the light of the moonbeam still having trouble maintaining itself. You hear the creature react to your moonbeam, but it is a much higher pitch reaction than it was before. While you were walking, it almost felt like a muffled whimper, but this one is really much more. You look up with this, and for a moment, you think you can see the head of the creature just looking around, looking slightly like a cat that's been spooked. But immediately after, everything goes back to darkness. But you feel like something is hanging in the air. And nothing attacks for this round, for his turn.
Ooh.
But you are all still in darkness and you still feel the oppressive feeling. But there is a sense of hanging. Just this moment right before you start falling again. Ooh. And we go straight to the next one in the initiative, which is Jorg.
All right. Well, I'm going to take this opportunity to run towards what I assume is reinforcements. And I'm going to use my bonus action to dash towards that trumpet sound.
Your action, you mean?
You mean your full action?
Yeah, my full action. Yeah. Oh, right, because...
You're not a rogue.
I'm the rogue.
Yeah, the rogues get to do that. I was a rogue in my last one of my campaigns.
Damn.
Yeah, so full action to dash.
All right. So you run toward the cavalry leaving the area. And your passive perception is also relatively high, so you're fairly sure about where you're going. All right. This means we go to... hold on, I'm losing myself here. Remy... Audience. You heard the creature scream. You have that feeling of something hanging, and you weren't attacked. But you're still in the darkness, and you don't know if Orunak is growing.
Well, I will leave him there for the moment and keep going. You know, I'll be like, he'll either grow or he won't. And then I will go 60 feet. Or no, I'll go 30 feet in the same direction I was going. See if I hit anything. So now it's 90 feet from since I originally started.
Okay. And you were going in which direction again?
6.
Yeah, all right, toward one of the... Okay.
Are you still going in that direction?
Yes.
And or is that direction the same sound the trumpets are?
No, actually...
I mean, I wasn't going towards the trumpets. I was just going the direction I was going.
No, actually, you feel like you're slightly moving away from the trumpets. Okay. Okay, then there's no problem. You just keep on moving, keep on running, and you don't hit anything. Then...
Alright, then I guess I'll dash. Go 60 feet.
Alright. Grand total of... Okay. Got it. Fisher.
Wait, what do you mean by something is hanging?
As if something had just exploded on the ground and you're stuck in the moment right before the dust starts falling again.
Okay.
But it doesn't feel like this is actually what's happened. All right.
So there was like the creature
What?
screeched out in a weird noise, and then
What would be your... Oh, make an Arcana roll for me, please. You are someone who's relatively well versed in magic, so...
that is not good.
Come on, help me out a
That's
bit.
I'm trying, dude. D&D Beyond doesn't like it. That's a 7. I
7.
rolled a 2.
Okay, well... Magic, you know, it's weird sometimes.
Yeah, dude.
Freaking goes off in random directions you don't want it to.
With a 7, I'd say, oh goodness, it feels like when you look at someone getting hit by a punch and being dazed for one breath, you know, just that's as much as a 7 can give you.
Yeah. Okay.
You're floating in that moment where the other person is just, oh, and you know it's coming back, but it's.
Yeah. I kind of trying something. I'm just gonna toss a firebolt in the direction I heard the monster scream from.
Okay.
That's gonna miss. I'm increasing by 1 each time.
That's good. By the end of the
first
fight,
roll
you might hit
Was
something.
a 3. The second roll was a 4. So taking the 3, that's a total of 8. And then I'm going to, I'm just going to keep going.
All right, you shoot in the
toward
approximate direction, and you hear Taranad go, well, at least you're not getting worse since this fight started. And you move toward the cavalry sound. All right.
Yeah. 30 feet.
Okay. Well, in that case, we go back to the top of the initiative with Remy. Go ahead.
I don't know. Can I make the same Arcana roll while I'm running for my life?
Yeah, sure. I can allow this.
Let's see if it's any better. Don't hate me, Fisher. 23.
23. All right. Well, just to make sure that
I
Fisher,
roll bad, so you can roll good.
just to make sure that Fisher doesn't hate you too much, I'm gonna write to you what's coming into your mind discreetly. So.
You recognize that previous fireball that almost hit you was in fact from Fisher.
You could tell because it's kind of like his handwriting. It's like, like how some people like dot their I's with little hearts.
Just testing your reflexes.
Oh goodness, I'm not sure how to write this one. I hope you're gonna forgive me for making spelling mistake.
Look, you're not one of my students. I'm not here to grade you.
This is what your arcane understanding of things, of creature, and of things that can do things like that would get you.
All right. All right, so there will be a brief break. There will be a brief break in the trumpeting sound. As you hear a very loud, gruff voice speak out and say, like, "Men were outnumbered. Move out." And from there, he will continue his trumpeting sound and take action, bonus action in the direction he was moving before.
Which would be another 90 feet. All right.
So between when the fight started and now, he would have moved 230 feet.
Really? I counted 240.
Oh, no, 240. Excuse me. I know math.
You know spelling, I know math. All right. And so the creature goes again. Jorg, I'd say, I believe Moonbeam is concentration.
Yes.
Yep.
Did you keep your concentration?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I assume if he's stuck, then he may be in the moonbeam again.
Mm-hmm.
Or he disappeared and
Damn, he's...
reformed somewhere else. But
You know who would have been good for this fight?
What?
Oranak, who also has Moonbeam.
Yeah.
No,
If we just wait 10 minutes.
he's never
or
going to
1
be good
minute,
again.
10 rounds.
Yeah, you know, Onak, he has Moonbeam, he has the same facial feature as those creature at the entrance. You know, feels like he would have been a very good thing to have right now. But the creature seemed to have caught the fisher bug.
Got him.
What is
So confused by how badly I missed earlier. That
what is your DC for the Moonbeam, Jorg?
Oh, blah, 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 blah. It's 14.
Rolled a 13, so he doesn't get... He gets affected by it. And again, you feel this moment of... as the beam keeps on going, and again, it feels like you are hanging a bit. This moment of... something's happening, but you're not sure what exactly. The beast itself doesn't seem to be that affected by what's going on, other than the fact that right now it's not attacking. Roll your damage, please.
Right, yeah.
You know, it's
Is 2d10. How do I roll that with? Oh.
you'd have to go on the lower
there it
left
is.
part where you can add more than one dice.
I got 12.
Okay. No, that's all right. I just need to know how much damage it dealt.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are stuck again in this moment of hanging whatever is hanging. This is you, and alright, we go to audience.
Audience will keep moving 30 feet in the direction he was going.
Okay, which means it's 60, 120, 180. Okay.
And then if he doesn't have anything, he'll move another 30 feet.
Yeah, 180. Yeah, oh, yeah, sure. Okay, you just keep on walking. You always feel those crunchy bit on the ground. Leaves. Some of them sometimes feels like bones.
Okay.
Slowly as you're walking, it feels like you're running in a grave. In the middle of a grave.
Well,
Or some place where a lot of things have gone to die. like a creature graveyard. All right. Go to Fisher.
Alright, it's still complete darkness, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
On the bright side, you are comforted by very loud trumpet sound.
And on the back of your mind, and if it's not on the back of your mind, Terranad is going to be the back of your mind saying, isn't that the direction in which you fired your fire bolt? Orb?
Yep.
Didn't the trumpeting sound started right after? So, Fisher, what do you do?
I am going to... Yeah, I'm gonna keep going that direction. And I can't see the moonbeam at all, right?
Yes, but intermittently. It is obvious that whatever is in here suppresses light. But since Moonbeam is a spell that is a continual beam of light, it's sort of like flickering lights. It's
Okay. No.
so you have a vague feeling of where the center of this is, as since the Moonbeam has appeared, the creature seems to have stopped its attack. So it's most likely somewhere near where the beam is. But it's really hard to pinpoint something clearly.
I want to figure something out, but I actually have to hit it to get an answer to my question. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna go 30 feet and throw another firebolt.
Okay. You
And
aim
I'm
up.
gonna roll.
You
in
aim up and you
person.
fire. Go ahead.
Or-
What did you roll?
Hey, 19.
19. You aim, you think it's where it's supposed to be. You see the beam of light right next to where you're aiming for a moment, and you fire it. You see your bolt of light, your mote of fire, go in a straight line, and for a moment it feels like it entered the darkest part of whatever this is. And you're sure you hit it. But your eyes tells you that it just went through.
There's no effect. Okay.
As if it didn't have any physicality to it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're sure you hit it square on.
Okay. Yeah, that's my turn.
Alright. Alright, well then we go back to Remy, who, Remy with his so high passive perception, you saw that little mote of fire go up, and just like what happened with Audience, you too are convinced it should have hit. But it's not reacting as if it had been hit.
Thinks to himself, at least Fisher hit something. And, well, hit being the operative word.
Shit. Maybe.
Bonus action, dashes. So that'll be an extra 60 feet.
All right.
Okay, we're good. Never mind.
Well, you don't have to walk the entire 60 feet. You move, and maybe 40 feet away, you do have to make your first 30 feet of movement. But maybe about at 40 feet, you find yourself staring at one of those creatures. You know, you're right beside one of the entrance, and you see this creature from very up close, holding its staff upward as if aiming for this opening. And you do realize that the creature is inside of this clearing. It is not on the other side of it.
Or when you say that, as in
It's standing inside of this opening, of this clearing. It's not standing in the woods or what would be the outside of the clearing.
does the body look firmly planted into the ground, or does it look like they might be pushable?
It's make a perception roll.
That's going to be a 14.
14. All right. Well, that's enough to. So you look at this creature, and the first thing that hits you is it's probably something that you could push because it looks like it was bracing itself to unleash something. Like a powerful spell that just was supposed to have a lot of kick. So it's bracing itself, but it's not doing so as if it was bracing itself from you. There is a weak point in this. It's bracing itself from a specific direction, the one that the staff is aiming at.
All right. Raimi is going to, if he still has an action, he's going to.
Yeah, I'd say you still have an action.
He's going to see if he can see what happens if he can try to push this creature out of the clearing.
Oh yes. That would be your action, and I know you're gonna love this roll.
I know this one.
Make a strength check. Athletic, if you have it.
Now, Raimi, I know you have this -2 to strength, and I know that you are pushing a tree of some sort. But maybe just do me this favor, because I really need to know. Okay. Oh, thank Christ. Even with a -2, a 16.
16, okay. Okay, you start pushing on it as hard as you can, and you know it should have worked. But it feels like, and because your arcane knowledge and everything like that, it feels like you are trying to push someone that's been taken by a hold person spell. Or something similar to.
Okay. In which case, you know what, this is pretty cowardly, but he's going to use the rest of his movement to kind of use this use this tree as like a barrier between himself and the creature,
Okay, so you're
and continue
stepping.
trumpeting.
So you're stepping on the other side of the creature. So technically, you are leaving
Yeah.
the clearing and entering the forest.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. The next one is the creature. So. The creature is still hanging for a moment, and for some reason that Fisher, audience, and Jorg cannot see, suddenly you all feel like the attention of whatever is lord of this small enclosure shift drastically, and you can sort of see the darkness all around gather up and leave the area. It leaves through the opening where it came from, and for a moment you get this feeling of, you see this, it looks like sort of you know, in the movies Harry Potter, when they the dark wizards leave and they sort of leaves with this trail of smoke. This is a bit what you see coming from the center of this, and it goes toward the breach that you just entered in, and for a moment it feels like there's a heavy resistance, but it pushes, and then suddenly you feel this shockwave coming right toward all of you, and you see the darkness leave, and you see the darkness right above growing a little bit dimmer, but still there. It's still completely engulfed by the beam of light, but now you can all see. And you can all see the creature leave the clearing and enter the forest.
Where am I, by the way?
You are roughly...
You're fucking somewhere.
You are about 2/3 of the way to the opening that is straight up. When the darkness leaves, you're there, and you're 60 feet away from one of the exit.
Oh,
Imagine that.
look at me. I was going somewhat the right way.
Except it's the other exit from where Remy is.
Yeah, you are going also where Remy was going, and you, from your point of view, however, you look toward where Remy was going, and the trumpeting sound is growing dimmer and dimmer and dimmer.
Did the creature leave the way Ramy left?
No, it left through the breach, but you can immediately see it before sort of the visual leaves. You see it turn and enter the forest.
It left the way it came in.
It left the way
same
it came
place
in,
we came in.
but it usually travels the roads. Now it went straight off-road. Something just drew its attention. Remy, it's the moment that you step out. You're the only one who noticed this. The moment that you completely removed yourself from the enclosure, the attention of the creature suddenly focused to a point, and this avatar was formed, thrown through the breach. You still feel the pulsing heart right above you, and it feels like now it's like looking at something in a shell. It's completely engulfed by the beam of light, which is still having trouble maintaining itself, but not as much as before. But there's just no physicality to it. It goes right through. It's just having trouble dealing with it. It's much easier to see right now.
So, I don't know if we can actually kill this thing.
Are we out of initiative?
For now, yeah.
Does it look like the moonbeam is still hurting the thing?
From what you can see, it's affecting it, but not hurting it.
Okay. Now that I can see, I want to take a quick look around for a small shiny object.
Make a perception roll.
That is a 14 or a 16.
Okay. You look around, you don't see anything shining. Quite the opposite. It feels like you're looking at a place that is unnaturally dark. But as you are paying more attention, it does feel like you are walking in small creatures' graveyard. Like an elephant graveyard, but for smaller scale creature.
Can I also take a whiff?
Yeah, sure, you can. I was gonna say. Yeah, sure. Sure, you can. I was gonna say.
Like
That's
the
just
creature just
straight
farted
wisdom,
and you just
right?
give yourself a good smell.
Yeah.
I
I mean, I guess if you wanted to
it's a
describe
nat
what
20.
happened,
Natural
creature
20.
farting.
-1 is a 19.
All right, but still. All right, so you're paying attention around you, and no, now you are convinced. This is not something that is coming from outside of this realm. It is something of this realm. But probably one of those weird creatures that no one knows it is there because no one's ever came back from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I'll make my way over to join Raimi.
With your 14 of perception, meaning that Terranad has 15. 16.
But yes, over 15.
Terranad.
I just want to make sure he does something, you know.
Yeah, sure. You know, it's normal. I understand that. Terranad does tell you the creature is still looking at us. We're not out of its reach. It's just not focusing on us right now.
That's not great.
My moonbeam only lasts 1 minute.
Yeah, guys, let's get out of here while we can.
You know what also gets summoned though in 1 minute?
Audience.
Wait, does
Say
he
that
say
out
that out
loud
loud?
with character.
Does he say that out loud? I need to know.
Very important.
Does George
you're not
say
there,
that
Randy.
out loud? Did George say my spell only lasts for 1 minute out loud?
Well, he would probably say, I can't maintain it much longer.
Right. Well, let's go.
Technically, audience, you'd know that Orunak would be here in a few moments. However, when you look at the ground, you sort of realize, yeah, I should probably make an intelligence roll.
Oh, good.
But this is an audience the characters.
Yeah, audience themselves. I need to get out my dice real quick and roll for my intelligence. Audience will roll a 7.
A 7. He's gonna be there in a few moments. We can just keep unpacking.
All right.
Jorg, in that case, you're probably the one who just looks at the ground and
That's not.
you notice that this small sapling who seems to... It looks like a plant whose growth has been completely stunned. It just comes out and there's a little acorn hanging from it. And it's dead.
Oh.
Does he pick up the acorn?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, have I seen you plant that before?
You've never seen
plant
audience
him, but-
plant it, but you've seen Onak give the acorn to audience when he was unsummoned.
Yeah, please somebody
Yeah.
else take the acorn. Honestly, I should not. I should stop being the person that has it.
Yeah, I'll grab the acorn when I see it.
All right. Remy, problem is, you're outside of the grove. You can't see inside. It looks like you're staring at the middle of a forest. Confirming probably something that Remy has figured out. These small groves, small clearings, are covered by some sort of illusion. You know you just stepped out, but you're looking at an endless forest right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like something is going after you. You feel the oppressing feeling of the beast hunting you again. And you realize you're standing in the forest. Oh yeah, and one other thing. The moment you stepped inside of the forest, the creature faded. The creature that you just stepped behind, you can't see it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
Well, we should be taking our break. We can give you 10 minutes to think about it. As Jorg is picking up the acorn, audience realize, oh, there's an exit just beside me. Guys, which exits are we taking? You know, you're going to that exit, I'm going to this one.
Oh yeah, which one did he leave through?
Audience
It
is
was
going
dark when he
toward
left.
the upper exit, while Fisher is going toward the left exit.
All right.
So you're a bit spread out, and you have to decide which exit are you going out of. You don't know which exit Remy went out of.
The audience is more carefully studying this room to see if there is truly no way he can get up to this creature and hit it.
Build a ladder.
Okay, and we can go on our break with you rolling a perception roll.
Okay. 5.
You know, it's like those damn apples that you always wanted to reach inside the tree that's just outside of your village. It feels like those apples, those goddamn apples.
There should be a way to step up towards them.
And you never were that good of a climber, so...
Audience tests his jumping height a couple times. It's like,
Just going towards the exit. I'm pretty
Yeah, actually, I'll roll-
sure
I'll
Raimi
roll
left
for
out
my
of,
jump.
and
I'll roll for
audience
my
is
jump.
just over towards the other one, just like jumping up and down.
you know, hey, I did get a, what do I have on my athletics? 7? 6? 6?
Whoa.
All right, well...
So I did get a 22 on my jumping height.
So you take a few feet to get a good running start. You just jump up, try to reach this thing, and it's just a little bit out of your reach. You know, it's...
Oh, shit.
If you were 10 feet taller, that would probably have been good.
Either that or if you were an Oath of Glory paladin.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
well.
you can probably jump something like... well, hold on. What's the height a jump can do? It's I think it's
3
your...
plus your strength mod.
Yeah, that's it. So it's 3 plus... Okay, and you
Plus
got a
1.5
high roll,
extra
which
height.
means it could be you could add a few feet to it. Yeah, you're looking at this, and with your height and the height that you were able to clear, and that's what's a pretty impressive jump. If Remy would have been there, his beak would have dropped. But you know, it feels like you're still missing 8 or 9 feet.
I'll just look sadly over at Fisher. I don't think I would be able to reach it.
Yeah, well, it's probably a good thing because we're leaving. I don't think we're going to be able to kill it either.
Well, definitely not if I can't hit it. Like so.
Alright, so as we have this interesting image of audience jumping, try and reach it, and say, alright, well, yeah, sure, we're gonna have to leave. And we see everyone leaving, and you also notice, everyone, that Remy is not here. This is when we're gonna take our break, as everyone turns around and... Didn't we used to have a bird with us? And so this is where we take our break. See you all in 10 minutes. Bye.
Alright.
Aha, welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. Alright, so... Good lord. I hope no one's baking anything. It's a bit late here. I don't know why, I just smelled like it's cake baking, but it's almost 1 o'clock here, so that would be a bit odd, since the average age of the people living around me is 65 years old. So...
You're having a stroke.
Oh, okay, no problem then. I can push through, don't worry about it. I've went through worse in my life, including a math exam having 101 of fever. The teacher thought I was gonna lose consciousness. Fortunately, I didn't. So, on those very interesting words, let's go back inside of this maze, which does feel like everyone is a little slightly feverish. So, just before we ended, the party managed to survive their first encounter with the darkest part of the heart of this beast. Right now, the beast seems to have pushed its way out of this clearing through the breach from which everyone entered. It is outside. Remy, you are feeling the oppression of the beast. Audience, Jorg, and Fisher, however, you are feeling the stare of the beast, but you're not feeling the oppression of the beast. Sorry, as if you were walking on the path. You don't see Remy, but you know that the darkness left just as the trumpeting sound slowly faded away. And Remy, however, from your point of view, you know that... Well, no, actually, since you stepped out, everything just disappeared, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so yeah, Raby doesn't know if he's being heard or not. But because he also realizes the change and doesn't want to put the others at risk, he is going to continue making a sound, but he's not going to move anywhere. But he's going to keep making a sound, and he's going to be constantly taking the dodge action, keeping an eye out for the beast.
Okay.
Hoping that the others will find him.
Okay. Audience, Jorg and Fisher. Fisher, sorry, not Fisher. What are you doing? Jorg, you just pick up the acorn growing from a dead tree, or at least hanging from a dead tree. Audience, you probably realize that George just went your way and picked something from the ground and then left. So, there's a chance that you just gathered that, oh, the seed was already there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Fisher, you are standing pretty close to the trumpeting sound. And then suddenly it just started to fade, and disappear, just as the darkness suddenly focused on a single point and left through the breach. So what are you all three doing?
Guys, we should go this way. I'm pretty sure that's where Remy went.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah?
Yeah. Can I do a quick look around and see if there's anything about the thing in the center that I could? Because I know
Shiny object.
Yeah, a shiny object or just something in that I'm hitting with
Make a
the moon.
Make a perception roll.
Yeah. I'm having trouble talking right now. Oh, nat 1.
You look around, and just like a moth looking at the bright light, you look around, and suddenly you look at your own moonbeam and just, well, it is pretty.
All right.
It's been almost 2 weeks since you saw the moon, and in the Shattered Continent there are 2 moons in the sky, so there almost always a moon hanging above you.
Makes me miss the moon.
Yeah.
I gotta
George,
get out
let's
of
go.
here.
Snap
I'm
out
coming.
of it.
All right, I'll book it towards that.
Then you have this fleeting thought in your mind: do Neftans go toward moonbeams on their own? Then you get pulled away. All right, so you all leave toward where Fisher believes that Remy was going, and audience takes just 1 round more than everyone else because he was almost next to the other exit. Oh yeah, and by the way, when you were looking, oh, that's an interesting one. When audience, when you looked at the path, you did notice that the path had small red flowers on it, and the path where Fisher is has toadstool on it. I like this. It's cool. It makes an interesting drawing in the middle of it.
Okay.
So you're going toward where Fisher is going, where he believes Remy went out. And take just 1 more moment, and you're the last one to leave this, and also because of your divine sense, you are very much aware that this creature, this evil presence, is looking at you, but its attention is somewhere else. Definitely.
Well, I can't kill it. So there's no point to be here right now. That's what's going through audience's mind.
Okay. So you leave, and one after the other, Remy, you see everyone appearing right next where you are. You are standing in the forest, but everyone appears in the path that is just in front of them. And oh, Fisher, Jorg, audience. He was 6 seconds
like,
late.
as you guys walk in, just like you notice that Rainy like significantly relaxes.
Oh yeah, and Fisher, Wow. Can you roll a perception roll for me, please? Please roll low.
13 or 15.
Oh, I'm disappointed. I wanted
I'm
you to
sorry.
roll lower. Come on, man, get it together. I wanted it to be low. So you leave, and of course you're greeted by this trumpeting sound. It's sort of a weird thing because the moment you stepped out of this clearing and entered the path, the sound just became very clear in your mind, and you're just beside you, and oh, he's right there. Stop it!
Yep. You can stop now. We got it. We're here.
It's a. Yeah, Remy just at that point just starts looking around and quickly starts moving down the pathway.
We can't see the clearing right though anymore.
As you enter the path, you see signs of a clearing, but you can no longer see the details inside of it. And as a matter of fact, you can't see the creatures which were at the entrance.
Does it
I'm
look
gonna
similar
quickly-
to how the entrance to this clearing was when we first, on the other side where we first entered?
What do you mean?
Like here, does it look similar to the breach where we entered from the other side?
No. The breach really did feel like the cracked side of a bowl. It sort of just spills out and you can actually see inside of it. But where you were,
Okay.
there's something preventing you from seeing details when you are in the path. But there is signs of, oh, there's probably a clearing there.
Alright.
Audience, you were...
You said there's
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah,
toadstools
no.
here?
Once I couldn't see the clearing anymore, I was doing quickly as I step out. I want to take a step back in just to see like where I think the clearing is, just to see if I actually go back into it or if I don't.
Yeah, you do. You just take one
Okay.
step back in and you find yourself in the clearing. And again, it feels like someone's staring at the back of your neck.
All right.
That's good to
I'll
know.
step back. Then I'll
I
step
was
back
gonna
out.
do the same thing.
All right. And Fisher, you were saying something else just before.
Toadstools, right?
Yeah.
And, yeah. Uh,
Remy
did
has
we
already
just
started
hop
going
onto
down
the side of
pathway.
a path, or are we at the start of a path?
No, you're at the start of a path. Remy is standing outside of a path. But all of you, you just came out inside the path.
Okay, so there's only one direction to go.
Right now, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, well, better get moving.
Yeah.
Good.
That thing may have
Towards-
started on the other side, but
Something. I don't know what we're moving towards. But...
Okay. Remy? You going back to the path?
I
You're-
mean, like I said, Remy already went ahead of you guys. If
Okay.
you didn't already start moving, so
Yeah. I'm gonna follow Remy.
Okay. So you keep on moving toward the path, and as always, Jorg and Remy, you have a different feeling. Well, this one is actually weird because feel like the path was moving sideways, but your senses are clearly telling you that you're going almost in a straight line with slight curve to the right. So definitely this is the weirdest optical illusion, if you could call it like this, that you've had since you've entered this. Huh. Fisher and Remy. This gives you just enough of a clue for one thing. When you entered this path and started walking on it, it looked like exactly the path you were on when you entered through the breach. But Remy, since your passive perception is high enough, your senses are telling you that this is not the same path. But this does give a hint of the illusion isn't creating something. It's just
Copying
mixing the visuals.
Also, oh, never mind. No,
Okay.
keep going.
So you keep on moving to this path, and it's slightly curving to your right, going upward toward the end, and you find yourself at an Y-shaped intersection again, and everything's going back to the way it was. You have on the stem portion of the intersection toadstool, on the path that you just came from, dark bark, and on the path to your left, small red flowers.
Raimi is going to go down the toadstool path.
Okay. Do you all follow Remy?
Are we
Yeah.
the branch?
Yeah, you are on the. You came from the right branch. From your perspective, it's right branch, and the branch to your left is the other one, and then the stem is where you're going from your point of view, straight up toward the toadstools. So, there is a lingering feeling of familiarity right now as you're walking on this path. Feels like you've been there before. But the visual aren't cooperating, but there's a feeling inside of you that says, I've been here before. So you keep on going, and this path looks like it's going up and has a curve to the right, and oddly enough, this is what Jorg and Ramie's senses are telling them. It's exactly as it is. Find yourself in a Y intersection again. The upper path has toadstools. Yeah, toadstools. The path that you just came from, dark bark. And the path that is to your left. Oh, wow. Small little red flowers.
Raimi is taking the toadstool path.
Okay.
All right.
Keep going up. And. Alright. You find yourself. Hold on. Okay. You go up and you find yourself at a bit of an odd place. Oh, definitely something Remy doesn't like seeing.
Doesn't matter.
The path that you just came from has dark bark on it. The path to your left has little red flowers. And the path in front of you, dark bark. There's something odd about this. There's a feeling inside of you that, Remy, because of your high passive perception, there's a feeling inside of you that shouldn't be dark bark in front of you. It should be toadstools. and the oppressing feeling of the beast hunting you is growing stronger. It is most likely 1 or 2 intersection away from you.
So, Raimi is at the very least going to inspect the. Well, he'll actually take the time to like inspect the area, like around the path of the dark bark,
Which one?
and maybe even inspect the tree itself, like the other one that they didn't pass through.
Okay.
What are we looking for, Amy?
Make... Oh, wow. Okay, that's actually gonna be a weird roll. Make
So that I can help.
make both investigation and perception roll.
You know what? I'm going to use my use of the lantern to give me advantage
Okay.
on both of these checks anyway.
Okay.
Wow.
No, his
how
lantern
it
is made for someone who wants to find things in the dark.
All right, so perception first. Thank God, not that one. That was the natural one, by the way. All right, so the perception is a 21,
Okay.
and the investigation is not going to get much higher than that. We'll find out. Yeah, and then that will also be a 21.
Okay. Alright, so Remy the investigator, he just plops down and starts looking at things, and meanwhile all of you are feeling this sense of oppression getting closer and closer and closer. But Remy is just looking at things down there and touching the bark and just looking at it from one angle and then looking at the ground and looking when there's dirt, and there's no doubt about it. What you are seeing is not an illusion. But for a brief moment, Remy, it feels like there is a shift in the wind, as if a second wind was able to make its way and push on the stronger wind for a brief moment, the length of a thought. And you are sure that when that happened, you smelled fungus. But the wind pushed back stronger, and there's this heavy sense with the wind that just pushed back. And the smell of fungus disappeared. As if two winds were struggling against one another. Each one trying to say something different.
But the fungus was coming from
The path that you're observing.
Mhm. All right. Then Raimi is just going to see what happens as he moves down this pathway, because he does know that the creature's near.
Okay. You all follow Remy?
Yep.
Yeah.
You keep moving, and as always, the feeling gets really, really oppressive. It feels like it's probably just outside of its normal reach. You only walk for a few moments on a path that looks to be curving to the left, but Jorg and Remy, you are sure it's going in a straight line. You find yourself at an intersection, and one of them, the intersection, the stem, which is the one that you came from, has little red flowers on it. The left branch has toadstool, and the right branch has dark bark.
So I think I know why. My character wouldn't know, so I'm not going to say anything.
Which path are you choosing? Path are you choosing?
Well, he's going to. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this. We'll see how this goes and see what happens if like following the toadstools from here does anything.
Okay. So, you go down the path with the toadstools. Oh, the beast isn't here anymore, so I'm going to erase that. Because I know where the beast is, and then we come to, oh, what do you mean beast here? No, okay, I forgot to erase it. So, you move down the path with toadstool on it. It feels like the beast is right behind you. When you look back, you don't see the darkness, but it feels like in a moment it's going to be there. The path from which you came from shows red little flowers, which is the stem of the Y. The left branch shows toadstools, and the right branch shows rocks with bright moss on it.
I want to follow the rocks. I want to see where they go.
Okay. So Jorg says he wants to know where the rocks with the moss goes. Remy, do you agree with Jorg?
Raimi wants to point down the toadstools.
Are you trying to get back to the fairy circle, Raimi?
Raimi is nodding.
Alright, we can go back to the fairy circle.
Might as well.
Alright, just as Remy starts nodding, you look around and you see the darkness spreading from the wood right behind you. The creature is almost upon you.
Run.
Oh, yeah, let's book it.
Alright. Audience, do you run?
Yes.
So audience is asleep running. So, alright, you all start running. The beast is keeping up, but as you enter the next intersection, you find yourself in the clearing with the fairy ring on it. And it is the exact same entrance that you used the first time to enter there.
Whoa.
Meaning to your right, there is a path with... well, actually, this one would be dark bark. And you see at the other end of the clearing, there's a path leading out, which has stone with glowing moss. And at the center of it, a fairy ring, which you know is a protection against the beast, who is quite literally...
Hop in the ring.
Yeah.
quite literally 40 feet behind you. As you all run and enter the fairy ring, the beast just throws itself on the outside of the fairy ring. Fisher, you've seen this once. Jorg, you've seen it enough to have nightmares about it. You see the creature pounce on the fairy ring, but it looks like the fairy ring forms a clear bubble, and you see impact on that bubble just go. You see it regain its composure, starts slowly walking around it while looking at you. And it remains doing this for 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. After 20 minutes, however, it loses interest and goes back from where you all came in.
That was a close one.
Yeah. My bad for suggesting that we go hunt that thing, but to be fair, I kind of figured it'd lead to something that we could defeat, not just an ominous, even darker force that seemed to be invulnerable to anything except
Well, Jorg,
light.
you're probably the one who has the most... Well, no, audience also would have knowledge of this. There's a lot of this that feels like, or something very, very similar to the relationship between a god and its own avatar.
Like the beast feels like the avatar, I assume.
The beast hunting you in the path feels like an avatar of a much more powerful and dangerous creature, something near to godlike powers. Maybe something that could easily be a patron for warlocks or things like that.
Can I knowledge religion it?
Sure, you can make a religion roll.
4.
Can I become a warlock now?
4.
It looks like a patron of some kind.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard about that.
Audience will agree.
Raimi looks to audience and minor illusions and acorn.
Oh, is this yours? I'll give him the acorn. I was thinking make a good
I'll hand it to Remy.
ingredient.
Just plant
So
it now.
audience hands it to Raimi.
Might as well just plant it now.
And Raimi is going to see what happens if they plant Olganak in this fairy ring.
Okay. Yeah, you plant Orunak, and it's a bit weird because you know that usually he's there within a minute, but it takes so much longer for anything to happen. It slowly starts to grow, and it feels like it's struggling to piercing through. It doesn't just take him 1 minute to appear. You just look at it and you wait 1, 2, 3 minutes. It's still growing, but so slow. It's sort of, you have time to, okay, look into your backpack. You look again. It grew a little bit. Okay. It takes almost an hour for him to fully grow again. As always, when you
Yes,
finish
audience
growing, oh, that feels weird. What happened? Oh, we're still here.
Yep.
I feel the
We
same
ran around
way.
in a circle.
How long has it been for you? It feels like it's been however long it feels like it's been for me. I don't know how long we've been.
Well, I just barely got back my capability to cast, so probably around 5 or 6 hours.
Feels like it's been a lot longer than that.
From your point of view, it's almost been a day.
Yeah.
You've slept since the last time you saw him. You walked around, you entered a weird place, you went back. The creature managed to stalk you, get tired of you, and then you watched him grow. It's, I don't know, it feels like 2/3 of a day.
Yeah.
But for him, it's barely been a few hours. He just recovered enough to use his spell again. Sort of like him getting the minimum time of a long rest, those 6 hours. He still has his last 2 hours, but you know, if he doesn't do too much, it's gonna be good.
Well done. The thing is, we can't beat that. It seems. Are we trying to just get out? Or do we want to try and get back to the little girl's ghost and give her her basket back?
I mean, there's still the shiny thing we haven't found, which I'm pretty sure is the key to all of this.
Yeah. We still haven't followed the rocks. I'm pretty sure the bark just leads back to that clearing we were at.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should just follow the rocks. It's the one thing we haven't done.
Kind of.
Maybe he turns to Olnak and he's going to say something smells rotten. And
You see him go, no, not me.
then he's going to imitate the sound of a very very powerful wind. And then he's going to mimic a minor chord.
Okay.
In other words, a dissonant musical chord.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting puzzle to solve. Wind and music. Music carried on the wind. A foul music carried by the wind.
Raimi is then going to take one of his fists and pound it into the other one, and then continue the dissonant note.
A foul wind hitting, breaking a note. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble understanding this one.
He's he's going to pump a spell slot into his lantern.
Okay.
Then he's going to keep the shutter open and then shut it. Then open it again and shut it.
Okay. Light and dark. Is that it?
And it's going to be like a show the fist thing again.
Okay, light and dark.
Also the dissonant note.
Light and dark clashing together? It's the note. I'm not sure what you mean by the note, but the rest is, I think it's that. He turns toward the rest of you. Do you have any more clues about this? Am I the only one? Anyone?
I don't know. I'll roll intelligence.
Rami, are you trying to say that the dark, whatever dark force is in this place is diminishing the light one and causing things to not seem the way they are?
Yeah, it's like he'll kind of nod, but like point to his eyes, and also to his not beak, like where the air holes might be.
Nostrils are, yeah. Okay.
So then how do we solve that?
Well, it's always a question of opposing forces. If I understand what you mean by light, dark, hitting, and then perceiving. So well, there are always moments where opposing force can push one another back.
If we carry light with us, do you think it would make it would help to balance them out, or perhaps have the lighter force override it so that we could actually see what's supposed to be there?
Well, have you tried? What happened if you tried?
We tried it a little bit earlier, but we hadn't realized the consequence of that yet. We were focused on other things.
Like, Ravi is going to point to the toadstools,
Okay.
and then he's going to point to his nostril question mark,
Okay.
and then Raimi is going to say, "Where the fuck did it go?"
Okay.
Can I smell toadstools right now?
No, I think he lost the smell of it for a while, or regain it for a while. So I gather by this that you went.
The thing again.
I gather by this that you went walking about between when you let me go and when you came back.
Yeah, you missed a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm sort of getting used to it. All right. So,
I mean, are you saying that you smelled the toadstools and that's why you were able to keep us on the right path even when there weren't any toadstools?
Maybe kind of like does this, and then again like says, "Where the fuck did it go?" And does the fist thing again.
Okay.
okay. So let's see. What clues do we have here? We have. Oh, it's not like that. Okay. The toadstool disappeared. There was a wind. There's a clash. There's broken notes.
Oh, because it was, there was dark bark instead of toadstools, but this still led to the toadstools. So why was it not toadstools on the path? Is that what you're asking?
I'm not sure. I think I understand what's happening, but still have no idea how we use it to our advantage to actually find where we're trying to go.
My thought with the toadstools, like the fact that this led us to toadstools but didn't have toadstools on the path, is that it could be that there was an equal number of junctions between that between from that path between the toadstools and the dark clearing. So or between, it was the moss stones. So like at that point there was an equal number of intersections to get to the toadstools as the wherever the stones lead. So the paths, it would be kind of like an overlapping signal. It couldn't.
Okay, no, I think I understand what you're saying. Okay,
But
okay. Well, I think there's something that makes sense in what you're saying. Um, but I have another theory about this. What if when you're in front of a path that can lead to either place because of a future path, something influences what you see? Which means there would be opposing forces here. One pushing you toward one path, and another one pushing you toward another path.
That would make sense. So whichever one's stronger is the path we see.
When there's a conflict.
Yeah. That's an interesting thought.
okay, so how do we use that?
Jamie is going to say in the little girl's voice, shiny thing.
Hmm.
So one path leads you to the shiny thing, and the other path leads you to where?
Graveyard.
Graveyard.
Well, that does sound a lot like one path leads you to darkness, while the other one leads you to light.
Yeah.
And Raimi is going to also, maybe a little sheepishly, but figures maybe he should know. But he's going to, and believe it or not, because they're about the same height, they pretty much get the full the full aspect. He's going to minor illusion one of the what he's going to call a warrior, probably, or a protector, like before Olmec.
Right, well, they usually hang about in your world. We usually just call them groundkeepers. That's about as close as the word translate in your own language.
What do they protect?
Usually they're just there to take care of things. If they were here, I'd say they were taking care of something. Working on something. Maybe they were here to balance things?
Could they be used as like wardens?
I guess if things went really horribly wrong, their first reflex would probably try to seal in whatever they were trying to rebalance. If there was a problem,
Mm-hmm.
even if it meant sealing themselves in.
That would pretty accurately describe what we saw. Basically, the darkness that keeps chasing us comes from something bigger and worse. And it was in a quote-unquote graveyard surrounded by some of them that were either dead or frozen.
Well, in that case, there's something normally didn't need them to do this. There would have been something to prevent this. It's sort of a last measure.
Mm-hmm.
Raimi
Probably the
says,
shiny
I
thing.
found a shiny thing.
Yeah. Alright. We should probably get going and try and find that.
Should we follow the moss?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we should follow the rocks with the glowing moss on them. The only thing is, if we do, I guess, yeah, we'll just follow it until we can't see any more rocks.
And then we can try to sense it like Raimi did.
I guess so.
Well,
That's what I've been asking when I say, how do we use it? Like,
well, to be fair, it's probably not far. If I remember correctly, the little girl said she ran from the creature, and it eventually caught up to her. I really can't see a creature that can simply leap 30 feet, taking a lot of time catching up to a little girl.
are there any exits from where we currently are that are glowing moss?
It would have been the one where the basket was found.
Yeah.
I'll take that one and start leaving.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Okay.
This is the way we went.
Yeah. Audience, follow?
Yes.
Feels like we're at
To be
World.
clear, the way that we left the fairy ring originally was the dark bark exit, not the moss entrance, not the moss exit.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So you leave this path, and immediately, as soon as you leave the fairy ring, you feel like the attention of the beast has once again been drawn to your movement. So it is currently here. So you move this path, and feels like the path should curve to the right, but Jorg and Remy, you feel like the path is going straight forward. You reach the next intersection. The stem, which is the one that you came from, has toadstool. The branch to your left has stone with glowing moss on it, and the branch to your right has little red flowers.
Follow the stone.
Yeah.
All right.
Power Stone, oh the answer. The Power Stone will set you free.
You move down this path, and it's really too bad that we can't play a lot of music, because as a Kenkud it could be very fun, and you seem to know a lot of music. You could literally talk with music. So the path feels like it's supposed to turn continuously toward the left, but it only turns left for a few moments for Jorg and Remy, and then it starts going in a straight line. And when you exit this place, you find yourself in another clearing. A small one. But one thing that is very hard to miss is that at the center of it, there's the skeleton. A small skeleton. Most likely human.
How old does it look?
It's a bit hard to tell because the skeleton of a halfling and a skeleton of a human child would be roughly the same.
Not how old was the skeleton? How long ago?
Oh,
Did they
the skeleton itself. It's hard to tell because it's just the bones. So
Okay.
at least a few years, but beyond that, it's hard to tell because it's literally decomposed to the point where there's just the bones left. Even the clothes are very hard to find. You look around and just by lifting maybe a bit of the bones, you do see a bit of cloth under it. One thing, however, with Remy, because he has both motivation and a freakingly high passive perception, you do see in a small place of this, it's mostly round, but one corner of it seems to go a little bit deeper, and it fits with the direction where the skeleton is placed. You see something shining on the ground. Soft glow. The white, very, very pale green.
Ramy's eyes sparkle just like the object. And he's going to pick it up.
It's a small object. It's a crystal. Roughly the same shape as a D10, but a little longer. It looks almost pure white. There's a little taint of green in it, but it's not sick green, it's leaf green.
Well, let's get back to the circle before this thing finds us.
Yeah.
So from
Ramy.
Yep.
Sorry.
Go.
Ramy looks down at the skeleton.
Should I give the basket to the skeleton or the spirit?
Don't.
I don't know how ghosts work. Just put the skeleton in the basket and then give it. That might be traumatizing.
Would there be some check for that? Religion? I don't even know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Religion could probably would probably work well. I'd even say audience, I'd give you advantage because this is even more so your domain of things.
Okay. Well, religion I still think is -1 for me, but we'll try.
You're a paladin with -1 on religion? Damn, you never listened to what your teacher said?
Well, I still got a 15.
15,
So.
alright.
Still intelligence, I'm pretty sure. Unless religion's wisdom.
No, it's intelligent.
Yeah.
It's a bit mixed. You remember instance of people saying both things could give result, in the sense that sometime bringing something to the grave of a person can appease the dead person. However, usually when there's ghosts involved, sometimes it's more going to be bringing it to the ghost. But there's also you also know of stories which says that if you want to exorcise a ghost, it's the grave that you have to target. So there's a lot of conflicting information, but both can work.
Can I roll insight on what I think of this situation with this ghost?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, I'll roll insight. Probably not. Inside 0, right? For me, yeah, inside 0. 9.
9. You get the feeling that there's... The girl was looking for flowers and wanted to bring mushrooms to her mother because she wanted to add to what was going to be there for dinner. So what she wants is flowers and mushrooms. The basket might not be that important to her.
Alright, I'll say I think we should gather some flowers and mushrooms and either give it to the grave or the body or give it to the ghost.
That sounds good.
Probably just the red flowers and the mushrooms along the trail would work.
Yeah.
There were flowers and mushrooms at the last intersection.
There were. We could just go grab some and then bring it back to the body, and if that doesn't work, then bring it to the ghost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So run to the intersection, run back?
Do we want to
Yeah.
put this back first?
Probably. A good
well,
idea.
how many intersections back was the thing again?
One more. Let's go put it back first.
Okay, yeah,
We're being
let's go put
hunted.
it back.
I'd prefer
Yeah,
to
so
have
we have
that
a-
stop.
Bring it
By the
to
way,
the...
in this clearing, how many exits are there?
2 exits. One
By
of
the way,
them...
I'm
Like, one is the way that we came.
By the way, I'm stretching right now. It's 1:41 for me, but I can go to like 2 if we can finish this in the next like 20 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know what you think. I mean, do you think we're close enough to finish it in 20 minutes?
Well, at least you can be close enough to make sure that when you start the next time, it's going to be finished in a few minutes. At the very least, that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. The path that you just came back from is toadstools, and the other path. There's a second path leading out toward your left is little red flowers.
Okay. Okay. In which case, yeah, Raimi will leave with the others through the other exit, through the one that they came through, rather.
Okay. So you move to there, and you do feel like the creature is very close. And even more when you reach the next intersection and you reach this point where you have toadstool in front of you. Stone with moss glowing, but the glowing seems to be fading slightly. And the path to what is now your right has small little red flowers on it. One thing you also feel is that suddenly the beast is no longer hunting you by walking. It feels very oppressive and suddenly running toward you.
Yeah, we should probably run.
Oh.
We should probably.
Raimi is going to actually double dash.
Alright, we'll
Is
follow
Randy-
after
Yeah,
Remy.
we'll
follow
sprint
after
back
Remy
to
as
the
fast
fairy
as we
ring.
can.
So
Yeah.
you start running and running, and
Because we're only one intersection away.
actually it's athletic. Can you all make an athletic roll for me, please?
Now, Raimi, this is really important,
A trip.
so I need you to not drop the ball, figuratively or literally.
Don't worry, I did it for you.
Well, you don't have the orb. We'll just leave you behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jorg got an 18.
Oh, thank God it doesn't hate me. Athletics doesn't hate me today. It's only a 14.
14.
But
Okay.
16, by the way.
9.
Okay.
Little 3.
Jorg?
You got an 18.
18, okay.
Oh, yeah, I got an 18. He's used to running in woods.
Okay, so as you're all running toward the clearing, you do manage to run almost all the way to the fairy ring, but just as you enter the clearing, you see the beast pounce, and Fisher, you're the one who rolled the least, so the beast just pounce on you, and it feels like you've just been hit by a cart. It's not only attacking you the way it does usually, it slams into you. You just get pulled and pushed on the ground, slightly dragged for a little while, and it just starts trying to tear you to pieces.
Ow.
Clawing and
Maybe.
clawing and clawing. 22 and
Shield.
okay. Then the other one is one lower. So as you are just dragged to the ground like this, you for a brief moment you turn around and you put up your shield, and you see the claw mark of the creature go on your shield.
That is an upset.
Guys,
Cat.
put it in the circle.
You keep running, and just as you all are about to enter the fairy ring, the beast turns around and looks at all of you and realize it's not going after the right one. But fortunately, you all jump and enter the fairy ring just as the creature jumps, and it strikes the shield of around the fairy ring. This one goes even stronger than before. You just feel this energy slamming into it. You see the energy, the white energy manifesting because it's been strained so much. Remy, you just let the gem go and reach the point where there is this little burn mark on the ground. And the gem stands up on its own and starts rising. You hear this deafening scream coming from inside of this maze labyrinth, and the creature itself starts panicking. The beasts start hitting the shield everywhere. It just expands all around the shield itself. Fisher, you're from outside of it. It looks like it's just engulfing, trying to eat the entire fairy ring inside in a single gulp. But you hear the same energy impact from your own magic shield just go. And then suddenly you see the shadow just goes. And nothing's left around it. And suddenly you just go. Oh. Hey, that's a breath of fresh air. Because of your high passive perception, Remy, you're the first one, then followed by Jorg. I think it's Fisher and then audience.
If I look up, do I see sky?
Yes. The air feels fresh. There's light coming from within the forest.
All right.
I've been trapped in here for so long. But before I go,
Hey,
wanna
maybe
give-
we're still trapped. It just looks nicer.
hey, that's still better than it was. I'm gonna give that girl her flowers before we go.
Yeah.
Wonder how long she was in here. Probably not very long before she was
Yeah.
taken.
As you
Audience
yeah,
looks at the gem and thinks that there should be perhaps a safety ring built around it for child protection. But that's,
Child safe. Lock.
yeah, but that's
You can't actually grab it unless you squeeze it in the right spot.
As you're thinking that, you look around and okay, hey, Fisher's all right. Seems to be good enough. You see Oronak standing maybe 10 feet away from Fisher, and you just said, I guess it's true what they say. You don't
you know
need. He rolled just above Fisher in his athletic roll, just literally one above. So that's why he went for Fisher. He looks around and, well, I guess what they say is true. I don't need to walk faster than everyone else. I just need to run faster than you. He starts.
I slowed down to give you guys some more time.
From inside of you, you hear, right.
Uh-huh.
Audience is gonna take a large log and scratch on it, don't touch, and put it in front of the gem.
So you put this in front of the gem, and everything feels lighter. And like I said, feels like you can actually see the light coming from within the forest. So you gather yourself, and Jorg wants to go back to the little girl. So do you follow?
Yes, I mean I'll gather some mushrooms and flowers.
Not
yeah.
out of the circle. Be careful with the mushroom.
Yeah, no, not out of the circle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
but-
gather this, and when you go
Yeah, on
back
the
inside, when you go back inside the forest, you don't actually see anything on the ground the way that it was before. Now, you literally see small red flowers growing everywhere. They're just lining the path. And you see deeper inside the forest, so a few mushrooms. Feels more natural to where they're supposed to be. The dark bark is still there, but it lost its dark luster. It's becoming a little more gray, a bit more dull.
It's dark, but it's not unnaturally dark.
Yeah. And when you look at it from this point of view now, you just... Huh. Well, it looks like it was moss. Just
Oh, yeah.
a shadowy moss. Taking hold of trees. Now it feels like it's slowly dying. Starving.
Hey. Alright, well, let's go return this moss and flowers.
So you follow the path, and this time, every time you enter the path, it seems to be going exactly where it's going. Jorg and Fisher, you feel like it's not playing tricks on you anymore. And you just follow the path. First intersection. Do you go right in front, back from where you came, or downward?
Ooh, flower.
I'm-
Oh, jeez.
Should we check the body first because it's closer than
Oh,
the
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Gather some
Yeah.
flowers and check
Okay.
the body.
One thing you do notice now, and that's probably the spookiest element of it, as you're walking down those paths, there are bodies everywhere.
Oh, God.
There's been a lot of people who entered here, and they were all hidden by whatever spell was covering your eyes. There are bones and left shattered clothes everywhere. There's a lot of people who entered this place.
Is there anything valuable?
Uh,
Oh my god.
Well, if you want to gather things to sell at a, let's say, someone that would buy pieces of clothes or rusted bits of metal, yeah. If not, no.
Okay.
George, you recognize any friends in here?
Oh.
Any buddies?
oh no! Oh no! That T-shirt looks like the one that Ted was wearing before.
Oh, no. The cleric.
What?
So you go back to the clearing where you were, and that's actually one thing that you do notice. When you enter the clearing where the bones are, actually there's quite a bit more light here now. And you can actually see two of those warden creature that's the groundskeeper that were in the clearing where the beast was, and they're reaching out toward where the gem was, but it feels like they were slain in position, trying to get to the gem, as they do bear marks of severe wounding. You get here, there are actually a few little small flowers growing everywhere, and it feels like, oh, well, that was just very dark and what the forest wanted us to see. But the bones of the little girl seems to be resting on a very soft bed of what looks like clover leaves, small flowers like this that grows in there also, a thick bed of grass. Goodness. So you place the offerings next to the bones.
Yeah, and see if there's any effect.
You place the offerings next to the bone, and you feel like there's a fresh breeze of that brings the smells of flowers that blows just as you do this, and you do hear a little laughter on the wind.
Okay, good enough for me. Let's get out of here.
Rainy wants to minor illusion the frozen tree person again.
Okay. Well, you succeed.
And
What about
and
them,
Rainy points
Raimi?
out the image.
He what?
Rainy minor illusioned the one of the petrified, paralyzed tree people and points at them.
Do you want to go back to the graveyard? Not that that's very super descriptive, because this whole forest looks like one now. But
Rainy nods.
Yeah.
Audience does mention that they were supposed to, in fact, meet on the alley, like when they walked in, and they had told Syndra that they'd be there in a couple hours, and he doesn't know how much time has passed. He'd like to not be too late, but
I think they'll understand.
audience looks around like, I'm very done with this forest, but whatever. I don't. You guys do what you want.
Rainy, then minor illusions. A pirate flag with a skull and crossbones. And then shrugs his shoulders.
Ogrenak looks at all of you. You got me with this one. I don't know what it is.
Oh. I think it's probably a good idea to check and see if the thing is gone, if it's sealed somehow.
All right. So Ogrenak does point out that he believes that there's not going to be a problem walking in the forest right now. Everything seems to be much lighter. And so we end this as quickly as we can. It's by walking inside the forest, you can actually get there pretty fast. And as you walk, you do realize that nothing seems to be hunting you. That's a nice change. And you do manage to make your way back to where this gravesite was. And oddly enough, when you get there, you do notice a few of those groundskeeper, and they're actually moving. Two of them are right where the breach was, and they are focusing, and they actually do look alive, these one, but they're focusing intently, as if on a concentration spell meant to do something. But you get a third one who looks at you when you arrive and just, oh, well, I guess we have you to thank for rebalancing the equation.
Raimi nods and minor illusions the little crystal.
Yes, we just started the ritual. The creature can unfortunately not be defeated by mortal means, but we did find a way to imprison it. We're hoping that we could find someone who was able to deal with it. But unfortunately, as we were perfecting the prison for the beast, we felt someone taking the crystals which we use to rebalance the darkness of the beast. We tried to get to it before the beast, but we weren't successful. We did our best to try and seal everything, but it looks like, and he looks at the breach where you entered, it looks like the creature was eventually able to breach our barrier. So this would mean that the entire grove sealed itself to make sure the beast would never leave. I am sorry if we caused any problem for you, or for anyone else who might have ventured here. But
Maybe just kind of like shoves a body that's probably sticking out of a bush and just kind of like shoves it
Yeah.
in there, just like with his foot.
I'm sure everyone's fine.
In the end, it's probably better this than that thing
yes,
getting out.
sometime you need to sacrifice for the greater good. And that creature was more important to keep away from the world. I'm sure
Does
you
it
can
have a
understand
name?
this. We don't know. This is mainly why it's been so hard containing it. If we can learn what its name is, it should probably become easier. Maybe we can even push it back to where its home is.
Would you like some help? We might know some people that would be better suited to that than we are.
Well, yes, of course. If you can help with this, it would be very much appreciated. If you can find the name of the creature, we can devise a spell to at least imprison it indefinitely. Maybe even banish it back.
Well, this is a little over our heads, but I think we might be able to call in some backup that could help you out.
Oh, good. Well, you know
Well,
where?
you know what? Raimi is going to. Well, we'll see if he actually accepts this or not. But Raimi is going to offer his orb.
Oh, and what is this?
Raimi is going to do the motions on the orb to call Syrah.
Okay, well, oh, this is fun. I'm gonna be talking to myself. So,
Yeah.
you conjure up the image of Syrah, and she answers as always, "Hello, this is Syrah," and you get the groundskeeper. Oh, yes, arcane magic. That is very peculiar magic. Oh, yes. I suppose there are people of the garden near you. A
Hey,
garden.
Sierra, we found Jorg.
Oh,
Just Jorg.
that is very good news. I hope he's all right. I'm sure you are very eager to report in, tell me everything, and I'd love hearing this. If you don't mind, we'll just finish this, and right after that, I'd be happy to hear. Oh gosh. Well, you do have a knack for traveling. I guess you'll have a lot of time to tell me where you are. Why are you exactly on the other side of the world?
What?
I hate everything. I hate everything so much.
I guess we'll have a lot of things to talk
Paper.
about. And we can either send someone for you, or you can just use the orb to come back to us. There doesn't seem to be any important disturbance, so it should be a smooth ride. But yes, you're on the southern hemisphere of the world.
Why southern? Should we just stay here? Is this where we're supposed to be? Just been moved here.
So
We did enter a wandering grove, guys.
Ami Ollie is so far away again.
Anything would wander when we were in it.
don't worry about it, guys. You can always use the orb to come back, and we can get you back to where you're supposed to be in a few hours. But I was expecting you to already be done with this. It's nearly been 7 hours since you left. So Amiali was a bit worried, but I'll tell her that you somehow, and she has a little bit, found your way halfway across the world. I'm sure she's gonna find it funny in some way. Don't worry. If not, we can just ask for someone else to come and get you. It's just gonna be a single day. We have some of the adventurers actually do have access to spells which can get you back on track, most likely by tomorrow. So it's really up to you. You'll have to tell me everything about what happened. I'm really interested in knowing.
Is the orb green?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
a
Audience.
bright, easily seeable green.
I'm so upset.
I think we'll probably take the orb.
I've never traveled by orb before.
Yeah, you should probably have a conversation with this guy. He's got some interesting stuff to talk to you about.
All right. Well, all right. Let's get this settled. And for maybe 30, 45 minutes, Sira and the groundskeeper keep talking, exchanging information, and agreeing to add a quest on the quest board for research about learning more about this creature so it can be dealt with. And after you all gather yourself, maybe take a little bit of time to eat a ration and drink clear water, and take a moment to look around. You know, you've never seen a desert before, and you can just see one as soon as you leave the grove. There's on the island over there. You're sure that this is where the desert starts.
It's just like a random magical grove in the middle of a desert.
No, it's actually on a small half island. Beside the island where you are, there's sort of a small sandy path that leads to it. But on this island, there's sort of a small bit of vegetation growing. The trees do look a bit odd because you're looking at desert vegetation on the outside, but when you look at the grove, it's temperate climate grove. So there's a bit of a clash there, but it's not in the middle of a sand dune. So after this conversation, you will take the orb and go back to the garden, which I will gladly explain again when we start next session. It would be a nice background to get back inside the adventure. And since Jorg has never seen this, it's going to be a new description for him. So,
Also, we didn't get lost on the other side of the world. Jorg did. We did a great job finding him.
Audience is in a corner right now, just muttering something about if he goes to this fucking arcane labyrinth and there's one more fucking dark
He's gonna
god
come out.
that takes him halfway across the world.
for the first time in your life, you actually see audience brooding. Alright. So, this is where we end this session for tonight. I hope you had a pleasant time. I'm sure everyone seems to be very happy that this grove is finally over. I can see smiles on everyone again.
Nice one shot, guys. Nice one shot. Everyone clap their hands.
I just think it's funny seeing everybody else's reaction in real time.
Well, except for Fisher, we can only see his forehead right now. Yeah, let's go. All right. So, I hope you...
Foreheads speak more words than one.
So, I hope you all had a very interesting evening, and we hope we'll see you all again next Wednesday for the Arcane Labyrinth, or as audience calls
Maybe.
it, but
Hopefully.
the Arcane Laboratory from a gnomish wizard that's bound to be interesting and have a few weird surprises in it. So, we hope we'll see you again next Wednesday. And as always, if you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. As always, I'm taking a few words to remind you that if we reach 50 followers on Twitch, we can activate subscription, which I would very much like. You can also support the stream by making a donation, something that I would also very much like, becoming a Patreon, or simply by spreading the word, because the more of you there are, the more fun it'll be. Well, at least we hope so. So, see you all next Wednesday, and as always, stay safe, and especially in these weird times, stay healthy. Bye!
Good night.